Niswing ba sakantikon Northeast Media Hub-ona rimchaksoa. Talni koborrangko aganat naskang kata bichongrangko aganat tinga. PA sangmani gunrangko jarke uni mingnamani ko rakyangko China konrat didia. BSF Bangladeshona rasrukanggipa bara aro Chinirangko rema. Payment for Ecosystem Services ni gnigpa installment na chekrangko skotong Minister Swalata. Lok Sabha election na NPP ni candidate rangko siyok kuja. Tirot Singh Best Students Award program ko ngata. Sinjuk wahesh nong jawaya ja o kuli daldalgipa MCH Hospital ko nirokanga. Asamo michik saksa di michik sakani ko chiusrupate suota. Asam sila ko o songdong parang ni nokrang ko piani ko sako jegale michik rang bara kancarang ko chite jingjing atanga. Anga chino CH marak tau koborrangko sul-sul para katinga. Lok Sabha ni gacham speaker Purno Esangmani gunrangko jarake. Uni mingnamani ko tangi rakyangko China gita Chinga Meghalaya dokni skotong Minister Kornet ke sangma manderangko didiangaha. Chinga PA sangmani chang sotsni dok kepa achiani salko maniani bak gita Nehu Tura Campus aro PA sangma Foundation chang sni gepa PA sangma Memorial Lecture ko Turani District Auditorium mo ngatangaha. Aro ya program ko ngatanyo adokni skotong Minister Kornet ke sangma jinmanakan prakangingon uni pagapa PA sangma sagini gunrang ni gemen gisik rat plani ko takangaha. Jangi tanganyo kamrangko kaengon mongsongbate politics ni kamrango panglan manderangko sa skangdone kamko ka China gita uni pagapa PA sangma sagi antangni dedrangko ski rongachem UNESCO tong minister parakataha. PA sangmani skiani aro gunrangko skira China aro jarek China gita chadamberangko didiangengon uni jakurangko jarekanian uko mandera nagita nambatsranggipa cholonga neba konrat aganaha.
This is something of course very personal because my late father, myself, Mr. James, and all of us, we used to sit with him, with my mother, and he used to tell us many aspects about politics, and at that point in time, we never gave importance to it. It looked like another lecture that he was giving us. But then when we look back today, those lectures or those discussions became like a guide, a book, a manual on how to be in politics today. I remember he used to tell us once, Conrad, he specifically told me that time, I was discussing something with him. And it just came to my mind right now. So he told me, the problem with us is that we don't understand the problem. So I said, what does that mean? He said, the problem is we don't know the problem. And it took me some time to grasp that. And today, being Chief Minister, I can tell you it may be one of the most important advices anyone could give anyone. So a simple example of a great, value or suggestion that he had taught us. That problem is we don't understand the problem. I remember once he told me about decision making. He told me decision making is one part of the process. The second part, which is equally important, is how you implement the decision and when you implement the decision. So taking a decision is one part, but how you implement it and when you implement it is equally important. And one doesn't realize it till you actually go through it, that it's so true. You may want to do something that's going to be very important for, say, some community. But then, you shouldn't do it without taking the other communities into confidence. So how you do it? By taking people into confidence, by creating a consensus, by making people understand. When do you do it? You do it when you realize that, yes, you are getting everybody on board and you have more or less a consensus and you can actually go through with the decision that you take. Small advices given by late P.S. Sangma, which, as I said, sounded like a lecture to me when I was 19 years old, 20 years old, 21 years old. But today, I look back and I write down those 10, 15, 20 things that I could remember that he told me. And these two just strike out because it helps me almost every day in the work that I do, which is that decisions are important, but when and how you implement them is equally important. And the problem is that we sometimes look at results and think that that is the problem. The outcome is the problem, whereas the problem actually is somewhere else. And I'm sure many of us have learned small things like these from late P.S. Sangma, a man who is far beyond what meets the eye. And we just read about what he did. We look at one or two of the foundation stones. We see this auditorium built by him in 1988. And we remember, oh yes, Mr. P.S. Sangma built this. Those are just infrastructures or certain parts of what he built. But it is the different values, the different kind of principles, the different kind of thoughts that he had shared with us, which will continue to live on and go on even beyond his lifetime and beyond our lifetime also. These ideas that he brought in.
Ya program kong atanyo the print songbat ni editor-in-chief Shekhar Gupta badongpa jenmanagan prakangingon PA sangmani senggenang agel sako watang anichi India songo songdongengpa tribal manderangna dakna nanggeni banga kamrangkon donanga geta ongaha ne parakataha. India songo tribal rangni jilbra jilsuani chat percent ongench moba PA sangma sagini siangani jaman dao tribal rangoni saksaba kurang ondole kamko kaengpa dulgeparang dongjaha aniba Gupta suk ongijani ko parakataha.
India has 8% of India is tribal, which means India has by far the largest tribal community in the world. 8% means nearly 11 crore, 10 crore tribals. But tribals, by their very definition, because each tribe is distinctive, there are many tribes. There are many tribes. There are tribes in the northeast, there are tribes in larger tribal population in East Central India, that is Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and then there are tribal communities in other parts of the country. We've never really had national tribal leaders because usually tribal leaders end up being leaders of their own tribes. They don't become leaders of the tribal communities speaking for the tribal cause, tribal point of view across the country. There have been very few like that. And Purno Sangma had risen to that stature, and he was rising in that stature. I thought, given the fact that he was very young, I thought, oh, finally India has a pan-national tribal leader. And he's a pan-national tribal leader who will also find a following among tribals of East Central India. That is where right now you have a lot of dissatisfaction, economic distress. There is economic distress everywhere, but East Central India in particular, that's where you have Naxalism. But tribal, and they have tribal leaders there, but a national level tribal leader is still lacking. And that is the gap that Purno Sangma left behind. Had he been around, this is no age. I mean, next year in America, if Trump wins his nomination, which he likely will, 2 80-year-olds will be fighting to be presidents of America. So age, the definition of age has now been changed. So Purno Sangma would have been a very active, very powerful, mainstream pan-national politician.
Meghalaya adok sorkari Chief Minister's E-Championship Challenge ko gisik nanggapa entrepreneur rangna aro wa mangni changa sapanirang ko chusok kate tangkam gapa business ko bukota niyo taktap na magsonge abachenga taha. Chusok gapa ongnas gapa entrepreneur rang gital changa sapanirang ba gital gadang ni enterprise ba business tongode E-Championship Challenge na bimingo otne Prime ni Jasku Incubation Program mo bakko rabo.
Mananirang aro namganirang top sotbong awas siaka ko manggapa entrepreneur ang na kamao unsogman mananirang ko mangen grant top kogrup awas siaka ko manggapa tangka gong lakni aro top sotbong awas siaka ko manggapa entrepreneur ang na tangka gong laksa ko manskagen certificate adokni sorkari aro IIM Calcutta Innovation Park ni nambatsranggipa certificate on kanggapa agan kupatiani industry ni gaman namme masipa mandirang baksa drengnan sakprak agan ikani cholrang jian entrepreneur ko wamangi kam kaani na redilgen
training baskirani namnamgipa bootcamp training rang aro workshop rang donggen jian entrepreneur rang ko tangkamgipa aro rowinggipa business rikani nang chungmutgipa changa sapani ko manna dakchakken tangka maknani chol makangchi prime niko tangka maknani chol rang jekai grant loan venture capital aro gapan chol rang ba gana marketing tharigaman bustu rang ko adok thangosan oi gija asum gapan rang china ba palna dakchakken prime hapo anden kam khachakani byap tura aro shelongo prime entrepreneur rang na anden lutning gapa kam khachakani byap ko ba oi
packaging aro marketing na dakchakyo nani baka nanganiram ko dakchakyo nani jika logo tariani website tariani badang chiba la ophala aro brani hisap ko skyo nani aro business ko sokari baksa bimang sigatani naksingat na dakchakani ba networking blog pa naksingatani ba nang business ko gapanang na uyatani sepang aro agamak na social media ni belchi naksingatani cholrang dokni chusokuman entrepreneurang baksa nangram ruki kha amkhana cholko mangen
Primary Siokako Mangabarang, startup to Bakurana Cholko Mangen, Primary just screen incubation program on Mutungo, Nisonangipa, Aro Kangikam Kangipa entrepreneurangna, also you give a Chiriniani by exposure digital again. J entrepreneurangan to picnic among Gensem, Wamangna pre incubation program of Bakurana Cholko Manska again.
Sawarang bakur ana mangen skangpa bakur ana gata India atsongo songdong khamgpa aro Meghalaya adoko atchi khapgpa ongna nangen gni gpa Meghalaya adoko padang chiwalani ko takkengparang ongna nangen gthamgpa nakni business ni skangpa thangkha matnani sakhi ko mesokna matna nangen
Bagipa nakni product ba service kepenangoni belongin dingtangmanchagipa aro dokni mandirangna kamkana cholko bukotna mangipa ongna nanggen mongagipa nakni business belsidokna batna nangjawa
Daon apply kabo www.primemeghalaya.com/cmecc application ba bimang segatani bonkam gapa sal 15 September 2023 thalbate uina chingko yano jarakpo
Nangni gital gapa business ko rakpo antang ko aro Meghalaya adoko ting suatpo primary jasku incubation program mo siya ko manbo aro chingan simangni business ko namma gadangona radona chakken
August ni kolat chisa tariko strik koborrangko mansoi BSF ni 193 battalion aro Meghalaya police dol laks ku nam pulgpa Bangladesh sonara srukangengpa banga chola bara aro Chini rangko East Khasi Hills district ni Barmanbari border maha koborna uyatani gitade ya bus kariko salengpa driver aro dakchakpa ya bostu rangko raangani mamang lekha rangko mesokna manjaha wamangni police rangna aganani gitade ya bostu rangko shilongoni ko salbaingachim aro yarangko sonathala songona raangengachim Ya mamla ko talbate sandina Dangar police station na pakwataha. Kanol chibisko rupungna gita scuba salo payment for ecosystem services ni gnigpa installment na check rangko Meghalaya dokni skotong minister Cornet ke sangma dingtang songni mandirang na turani smelsi building o swalataha. Ya thomanio adokni skotong minister dol chichet village payment for ecosystem services committee rangna gemegong lak sotok pre point sochet gnini check rangko swalataha. Aro ya check rangko swalatanio West Karo Hills achane deputy commissioner Jagdish Chelani SP Abraham T sangma aro dingtang officer rang badong paha. Kanol chibisko thangat pulna aro rupungi rakhina gita ya payment for ecosystem services project ko adokni skotong minister hajal gni kolgr gni bulsini April gni tariko abachinga tahachim. Aro one again ya project nas khangpa check rang ko de hajal gni kolgr gni bulsini October jaun swala tahachim ninakna mana.
PES program ni gaman simang sakantikon ya PES program ni through Chingni Chireng si bisakrangko burung bolbrumrangko sukmata na Chingni environment ko si dapat ya Ching namne rakhina matgen protect kana matgen iya muksonganiyo haida India gemakon yan dalbat kapa aro first time ya dapat program ko haida India gemakon Meghalaya government Chingha. Na isma sakantikon iya ya na main program uniko nga na main gamchata ari ni muksonganirang longin namma. Ang naskang dentang getemrangni songrangni nokmarang community ni member rang na simangna ya riang pa bulsio PES program ni through getemrang mai takpa nam gira ko matna hatsum ya go na simangna na main thalya kana apa singunde pa mandirangan bibira chachim aina government ara and then thangka pesarang ko songrang na ba community na gen Putlinga ani soparang de san siat. Andi ba jen salo ka sen mandrang tangka pesra ko matna batsing jo. Training ra ko matna batsing ha. Volunteer ra ko chika matna batsing jo. Dingtang ani ko matna batsing ha. Wa sumayo mandrang bebera na batsing ha. Aro ta lo baknga katumrang baknga community reserve ko maintain ka kapa songrang ta alo ya PES system ba program no napna kusyok.
After joining ICFI, my faculties, they have trained me so well. I have gathered immense knowledge and confidence.
The ICFI University has given me opportunities, skills and experience to make myself capable of where I stand today.
In UG programs, we offer BBA, BCA, BCom, BTTM, Economics, Political Science, Education and English. For PG programs, we have MBA, MCom, MCA, MA English, Political Science, Education, Garo and MSW.
I'm a student of tourism.
I'm a student of management. I'm a student of social work.
I'm a student of IT. I'm a student of humanities from ICFI University, Tura.
Baenggipa hajal gani kolgruk bri bilsini Lok Sabha election no National People's Party Meghalaya dokni damgani constituency rangon susagen endiba dao debate election candidate rangko siok kuja neskubar salo NPP ni state president WR Karluki parakataha BJP ni dilgapa HM Shangpliang NPP on apna singama nis ngani nagan chakani ko nangingon dao debate yani bidengo waname wiata dungkuja aro media rangoni ko san naknama ningkwa ani Karluki parakataha Assembly election no NPP Kasi aro Jaintia Hills Cholrango bangi seat rangko china manjahani gemen singska on Assembly election no ba NPP bangbate vote rangko manahani gemen ya chango de nambate dakna khadongenga ni NPP ni state president parakatska ha.
Candidate is yet to be decided. We have decided to put up candidates, but candidate is yet to be decided. Well, it came out in the news, but let's see.
Is he joining the party?
That not yet. I've not seen.
So there is some condition.
Yeah, I've seen it in the news, but not yet officially.
Skubar salo Akil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad ni gita U Tirot Singh Best Students Award hajalgni kolgr katam annual program ko Shillong Songjinmani U Sosotam Auditorium ngatangaha. Aro ya program ko ngataniyo Union Ports Shipping and Waterways Minister Sarbananda Sonowal mongsonggipa sokopaonge chatro chatri rangna award rangko nangaha. Award manggipa chatro chatri rangna wa antangni namgipa skani ko nangingon gisko nangi kam ko kachina aro jangi tangani sokoparang ongchina chatro chatri rangko didiangaha. U Tirot Singh ni kamrang ko ba ya Manyo Sonowal gisikrat plan ba uni kamrang na dingtangmanchagipa plani ko parakangaha. Ya program ko ngatanyo Meghalaya dokni cabinet minister Alexander Laluhek aro gepon dilgeparang ba dongpa e bakrang tukaha.
Sense of dedication, devotion, commitment for the country will have to rise up and will have to take a vote. We'll also here to put our best possible effort for the cause of the country, for the reconstruction of the nation. This is the primary goal set by Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad. Rebuilding India. Today, beautiful caption hanging in the form of banner. The lines are very meaningful. Education for life, life for country. What a lovely line, meaningful line. Because we are acquiring knowledge through education. And when you acquire knowledge, you become powerful. Your self-confidence gets generated, empowered. And ultimately you become a very, very important, responsible citizen of the country.
Joy ni nangrem gemen song ni nokmarang basinjuk wahesh nong joy wamang ni padot alan niangti aro secretary rikuma lalumang ni delanichi joy ni panaliaro kulidal dalgepa 100 bedded MCH hospital ko skubar salo ni rokangaha. Hospital ko ni rokanganio wamang hospital ni medical superintendent Dr. Ebenezer War aro gepen Dr. Rangko bagrongi wamang baksa akan kerkang julaha. Wamangko grongani jaman niangti kobor naga nangingon hospitalo sanabanani ko aro nirok semsakani rangko nanio chuong brejaingani bidengo manderangni apotika ani rangko man suani gemensa wamang hospitalo nari bain ba nirokani ko dakataha aro medical superintendent antangba yani bidengo mongsongbate hospitalo staff nurse aro grade 4 kamko kaingpa mande chuong jaingani ko kurachakaha ni parakataha. Brisbane walo asam dokni kachara jauh michikma saksa antangni segepa baksa kajiong ani jaman antangni demichik sakani ko chiu srepate sotaha. Pulis rangni viatani gitade kachara jani hatikal jolo dunggepa michikma saksa jekon Ajmira Begam mengacem Brisbane walo antangni segepa baksa kajiong ani jaman belsi getam aro ja chichet onggepa michik bisa sakani ko samba o dunggepa pokriona remange chiu srepate sotaha. Ya michik bisa sakani ko bara ciantang baksa kacapin ba ciona belonange bisa sakani ko cius repatahane pulis rang parakataha. Ya selni bidungo pulis rang ya michik makor maha aro bisa sakani ni manggisi rang ko ba pokrioni ko raungkate postmortem na watatahane ko boronaha. Asam sorkari ni akangengepa chibol silsako bilo niamgri nok jamrangko reke songdongengepa nokkeng rechagani sotbongako Guwahati Municipal Development Authority ni pirurui galanina skubar salo wanoni michik marang antang-tangni bara kancharangko tongsa chitinba jingjengatangaha. Administration ni nok jamrangko peegalani gemen salni bako sak hajal samang jingjengat geparang aro cilcak kepa dolrang ni gisepo ba adita nangkerkangaha. Official rang yani bidengo wanoni manderang na biap ko wate kachina geta wiat sam soani ko dakaha ni wiat tangengon asam sorkari wamang na damgepen biap ko tarieo na dongjani gemen noktang tangko wate bachi katgen ene wa biapo sungdong geparang akang tukskaha.
গতিকে হেনেকা আমি থাকিলো এতিয়া ঘৰ দুৱাৰ ভাঙি দি পেলাই মানে ফ্লেট দিম 20 লাখ টকা দিম কি কি যে নকয় আগতে দিব লাগিছিল তাৰ পিছত ভাঙিব লাগিছিল এতিয়া এইবোৰ মানুহবিলাক ক'ত যাব চোৰ হৈছে ডকাইত হৈছে কিবা হৈছে ইমান বস্তুৰ দাম তাৰ পিছত ঘৰো ভাঙি দিছে তে মানুহবিলাকে কি হ'ব তাৰ মানে
Asam Guwahati donggepa silsako bilo sungdonggepa rangko arekani bidengo batanggemen somayo Assam Human Rights Commission ni sandirokachina ge etani gemen Kamrup Metro District Administration Magistrate sandiatani ko dakchina geta ge etani ko bo nahachem ni nekatna geta mangen Yarang sandalni koborang niswanina nasima sakantikon metela Na simang gital koborrangko nisona aro knasona skode www.hubnetwork.in website onar yange kulini namangen aro na simang Google Play Store aro Apple App Store oni koba Hub News app ko download kai gital batkepa koborrangko knangna aduni namangen uni gemen na simang gital koborrangko man sona skode ya app rangko download kai jakal tokpabo na simang ni anichi aro share ka anichi Hub News ko dakchakani yongskagen sakantikon metela